Hi and welcome to GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. Just want to do an update on my preview of the Nikon D500 because I've been getting lots of comments and there's been a bit of confusion about the 4K video, so we'll clear that up first. On the Nikon website, it said initially that the recording time was limited to 3 minutes. And there was lots of people saying, no, it's not, it's 29 minutes. When I refreshed the page on my iPad, it actually changed. They had obviously made some kind of mistake. And it then said 29.59 minutes or whatever, 29 minutes 59 seconds. Now there's been a bit of confusion. I've seen lots of videos about this and lots of people have seen the 3 minute and lots of people have seen the 29 minute, and what it appears to be is that it is limited to half an hour, but it splits the video up into 3 minute segments. Now my G7 and GX8, they split up into, I think it's 6 minute segments. And it's fine, it just means when you transfer your files onto your computer to edit, you get, instead of one big file, you get, say, maybe 10 smaller ones. Which is not a problem. If you put them all into like iMovie or whatever software you use, they're seamless. There is a gap there, but you don't notice it in the actual video. My confusion now is that people are still saying the D5 only records for 3 minutes in 4K, which is ridiculous. And why would that be if the D500 is a D5 in a smaller body? Now, at first I thought, well, there may be a limit if it's something to do with overheating, which, wait and see. I think that we'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, the Sonys have obviously had problems. The Panasonics don't seem to have problems with that. Or is that some sort of misprint or error? So I think until we get these cameras, we'll just have to leave it as the D500 records up to 30 minutes. The D5 apparently does not. So there you go. So that was the first thing. Now, lots of comments coming in about the D500, and I agree with most of them, and I honestly think it's going to be a fantastic camera. I really do think it's going to be a good camera. But as I said in my video, my problem is the price. Now I've done a little bit of research online, and just to try and put it in perspective, because when you look at the specs, it's like, yeah, it's okay. They've caught up with everyone else just about. They haven't gone and done what Sony have done and led the way forward and then can charge a premium because of it. They've come up, a year behind everyone else, maybe even longer, and then said, oh, we've done it now. We've copied everything you've done, and we're going to charge you loads more money for it. Well, I don't get that. So, to put it into context, the D500 with a 16 to 80 f2.8 to f4 VR lens, which would be a standard sort of kit lens, good quality kit lens, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic kit lens. In the UK it's going to be about £2,500. Okay. Now what we want to make sure we get if we're looking at other cameras is we want 4K video, we want high speed shooting, we want good image quality. Those are the main things, I think. I think if you're looking for weather sealing as well, maybe that will come into it at some point, and durability obviously as well. So we'll take all those things into consideration. And I've got a couple of options here. So for our £2,500 you could get, and this is prices as at whatever we are now, January 2016. Just before I do that, hang on. I quite like recording at night. It's a bit surreal. I'm doing it a lot lately, and I'm quite actually enjoying it. And I've got my little buddies here, which is a little team of guys that's just actually grown by one, but more about that perhaps in another video. You could buy a Canon 7D Mark II, including its sort of similar version kit lens, which is the 15 to 85 kit lens, which is actually 5mm wider and 5mm longer, so maybe a better lens than the one that you get with the Nikon. That's £1,683. I know that doesn't do 4K video, but wait for it, you could get, with another just under £700, this, the Panasonic G7 with a 14 to 140 lens. That gives you your 4K video, no problem at all. Your Canon 7D Mark II, that gives you speed, great image quality. I know it's not the best, but I've seen the images out of this camera and they're absolutely no problems whatsoever. And you'd have £123 left, which if you was a bit canny and, you know, did a bit of farting about on eBay, you might be able to get yourself something like this, a Sony RX100 Mark 1, probably. Maybe this is the Mark 2, but you know, Mark 1 or Mark 2. They've come down in price now. They're up to about the Mark 28 or whatever it is. So that's one option. The next option is you could buy yourself, and this is all brand new, a brand new Nikon D500 with an 18 to 105 kit lens. Now I've had that lens on the D7000 and that's a great lens. No issues with that whatsoever. On top of that, you could then buy the Sigma 70 to 200 f2.8 image stabilised lens, stunning lens. That takes you up to about £1,600. And then again, I know you haven't got your 4K video yet, but wait for it. Guess what? Yep, you could then chuck in the G7 with the 14 to 140 lens. Great for video. And that's why I've picked that lens, because it's just good for video. And that would come out at £2,341. Which would leave you £160 left, which, yeah, you guessed it, you could get yourself a second-hand Sony RX100, and this is a fantastic little camera. Really is, really, really, really good. I know lots of people will buy the Nikon D500, and I have no doubt it is a great camera, but I think it's overpriced, especially for a DX crop sensor camera. It's just too much money. I haven't even gone into what you could buy second-hand. You know, if you started to look at second-hand or refurbs, things like that, you could probably save on these two kits alone. I reckon you could probably save around easily £500 and get yourself a couple more lenses. You know, it's if you want to go out and buy a Nikon D500, then that's fine. And if I had £2 grand, £2.5 laying around doing nothing in particular, I probably would go and buy one. But I haven't, and most people, let's face it, haven't. And you have to, you know, you make budget choices. And I just think there are better options which give you a lot better value for money than buying a D500 for £2.5 grand. I mean, that to me is just crazy money. So there you go. That was just a quick update really on the Nikon D500 preview video, and it's weird really, because I'm torn, because it's a shame really. It's a fantastic, what I think it will be a fantastic camera, and I would love to have one, but I think they've just priced it way too far out of contention. You need to knock off you need to knock off 800 quid off the price of that as soon as possible, as far as I'm concerned. £1,000, you know, that's absolutely fine. That would then be more competitive with like the full frame Nikon D610. I mean, I could have done a kit like this with a full frame camera as well, but I chose the Canon 7D Mark II and the Nikon D7200 because I think they're two cameras that both are similar to the D500, and they will be attracted by the similar people, sports, wildlife photographers, people that like shooting quickly, and things like that. So I've tried to match it with, you know, something you would want. So there you go. This is GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. Keep the comments coming in, I love it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.